The way, the truth, the life watchers. Hello, people. Some more breaking news. Let's get straight into it, shall we? Istanbul residents spend the night outdoors after a strong earthquake and aftershocks. Yeah, so the birth pains are ramping up now, aren't they? We'll just get straight into this news piece. Many Istanbul residents spent the night outdoors, too fearful to return to their homes following a strong earthquake and over 180 aftershocks. The magnitude 6.2 quake that struck midday Wednesday deeply impacted the city of 16 million residents, leaving many inhabitants shaken and wary of a possible more destructive tremor. There were no reports of serious damage, but the trembler, the strongest felt in Istanbul in recent years, prompted widespread panic and scores of injuries. The earthquake had a shallow depth of 10 kilometres, about 6 miles according to the US Geological Survey, with the epicentre about 40 kilometres, 25 miles southwest of Istanbul, in the Sea of Marmara. It was felt in several neighbouring provinces. At least 236 people were treated for injuries while trying to jump from buildings or for panic attacks. Most of the injuries were in Istanbul, where residents remain on edge because the city is considered at high risk for a major quake. Residents sought refuge by sleeping in their cars or setting up tents in parks and often other open spaces. Many lit campfires to keep warm after the temperature dipped. Yeah. There's not much on that, to be honest, but yeah. Yeah, like I say, the birth pains are ramping up. Like it's like these prophecies now, they're coming alive now. Like I say, like when it's like the birth pains of a pregnant woman. The labour pains for 9 months. They keep getting the birth pains getting stronger and stronger and stronger until it's birthed, until the rapture comes, which will set off the tribulation. You've just had one in California a few days ago, same kind of scenario. We had one in Thailand as well. That was a massive one. The one in Thailand, that was devastation. That one. This one here was a few days ago in 5.2 magnitude quake shakes Southern California, tumbling rocks onto roads and items off shelves. So the birth pains keep escalating. They're crying out loud. They're actually warning signs to wake up because your time is short. Well, this one here, San Diego, a 5.2 magnitude earthquake shook Southern California Monday morning, sending boulders tumbling onto rural roadways outside San Diego, items rattling off shelves. Elephants at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park scrambling to encircle their young. Officials reported no injuries or major damage. The quake, according to the US Geological Survey, struck at 8 minutes past. 10:08 a.m. Local time, and was centred in San Diego County, only a couple of miles, 4 kilometres from Julian, a mountain town of about 1,500 people that is known for its apple pie shops. It was felt as far north as Los Angeles County, about 120 miles, 193 kilometres away. The quake was followed by several aftershocks. I thought the single pane windows were going to crack because they were shaking pretty good, but they didn't, said Paul Nelson, owner of the Farmer Gold Mine that operated in 1870s in Julian. He said some picture frames on the counter of the gift shop fell open at the Eagle mining camp, but the tunnels that the tourists can explore suffered no damage. Nelson said smaller quake hits when about 24 visitors were touring the defunct mine, but everyone stayed calm. No one was inside the old mine. When Monday's trembler rocked the ground for a longer time. Yes, there's not much on that either, but I seen something, I think it was a few weeks back, where the gas mains that are under the ground are all split, all cracked, and all the land, the roads, people's drives and houses are all skew with, and they've had to come out and put temporary gas mains connected on top of the road, where the gas mains should be underneath, shouldn't they? But the gas mains were all temporary, and all the land was just skew with. So it's like the roads were here, and then one road was down here. So imagine your cars here, you can't. It's just everything was skew with. All the drives, all the houses were sunk. Some were even cracked. It's just, but people, I don't know what they're thinking, but it's these birth pains are crying out to you. The warnings from God, but because your time's short, what's coming. You mean you had the Yellowstone earthquake, the circadian seduction zone in the San Andreas fault line. When that goes, the San Andreas fault line, that'll be massive. That they reckon there'll be no California, whether it's a tsunami, what it'll cause a devastating tsunami, or whether because the plates, when they hit or they go over each other, whatever happens, there'll be no California. And the San Francisco, that's the one. San Francisco, they reckon that'll be gone. But these are the birth pains for what's coming in the tribulation. But I can't see it getting any better. These birth pains are crying out loud. They're ramping up. Yeah, well, that's all there is on that, I'm afraid. What I'll do then, I'll just before we go, actually, I'll just talk about the actual birth pains, actually. So the birth pains, you'll see floods, you'll see hailstorms. I mean, scientists can't explain these hailstorms, and they can't explain the tornadoes. They can't explain the hurricanes, what they're getting now, because they've never had these hurricanes and tornadoes before. They've gone worse, and they can't explain it. You've got sunspots. You got obviously the volcanoes erupting. They're birthing. You've got plagues. You've got locusts. Farmers around the world are experiencing all the crops being ate by locusts, because these locusts, there's just millions of them. That's what happened in Moses' day, in Exodus, when he warned the Pharisee. He warned him, if you don't let me people go, these plagues will come. And he obviously thought that they never happened, and they did. The locusts come and they ate all the food, they ate all the crops, so they left Egypt starving. And it's, there's just different plagues like that, pestilences. They're ramping up, but people need to wake up to the truth. What I'll do then, that's it for that. Get into the Bible. So what I'm going to do here today, let's just think here a minute. So I'm going to read. It's going to be a short, sweet story, this, because it is quite long, this one. So I've had to do a short, sweet of it, but it's about Joseph. So I'll get straight into it. And they said to one another, Behold, this dreamer cometh. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him, and cast him into some pit, and we will say, Some evil beast hath devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams. And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands, and said, Let us not kill him. And Reuben said unto them, Shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands, to deliver him to his father again. And it came to pass, when Joseph was coming unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colours that was in him. And they took him and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty, and there was no water in it. And they sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes, and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead, with their camels bearing spikenard, balm, myrrh, going to carry it down Egypt. And Judah said unto his brethren, What profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brethren and our flesh. And his brethren were content. Then were there passed by Midianites, merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit, and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. And they brought Joseph into Egypt, and Reuben returned unto the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit, and he rent his clothes, and he returned unto his brethren, and said, The child is not, and I whither shall I go? And they took Joseph's coat, and killed a kid of the goats, and dipped the coat in the blood. And they sent the coats of many colours, and they brought it to their father, and said, This have we found. Know now whether it be their son's coat or not. And he knew it, and said, It is my son's coat. An evil beast hath devoured him. Joseph is without doubt rent in pieces, and Jacob rent his clothes, and put sackcloth upon his loins, and mourned for his son many days. And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. And he said, For I will go down into the grave unto my son mourning. Thus his father wept for him. And the Midianites sold him into Egypt unto Potiphar, an officer of the Pharaohs and captain of the guard. Yeah, so I've just done a short, sweet version of that. But the moral of the story, the way I interpret it, is that Joseph was gifted by God. He gave him dreams, and he could interpret them. And he obviously told his from a young age. He shouldn't have done it really, but God knew this was going to happen. That's why it had to be done in his family. And Joseph, when he interpreted these dreams, because he was favoured by God, he had favour, he had betrayal, he had he had envy, he had patience, and he had wisdom. And his family didn't like that he could interpret dreams. Well, they didn't know that at the time, so basically they got jealous. So what they did, they betrayed him, they threw him into a pit, and then they grabbed him and took him down to Egypt, sold him for whether how many pieces of silver, which was virtually nothing. That's what they thought of him. His own flesh and blood. And then not knowing what he was destined for, because God had a plan for him. He ordained him for a position, and then he ended up in prison. And then they went back to the father and told a pack of lies, saying that he's been devoured or whatever. He's been killed. So they lied, obviously lies as well. And then, obviously, as time goes on, and the thing with it is, it's like a testing of faith with Joseph. He never gave up on God, because he knew God. And this is what I'm saying. He was overlooked by his family. He was overlooked. They didn't listen to him. They thought they were better than him. But actually, they could have got good advice off Joseph, but they just didn't take him on at all. But he was in prison, and he was reflecting on it all, Joseph, and he never gave up on God. And in the end, he ended up interpreting some dreams to I think it was a king anyway. He interpreted some dreams, but anyway, the moral of the story is he ended up in the palace, and he ended up a prince. And the old story about it is that God had a plan for his family. That's what it was for, and also for Joseph, because there was a big famine in the land where everyone was starving. So in the end, they found out that Joseph was a prince. Obviously, they would have been dumbfounded by it, But they couldn't believe it. But they ended up they had to go back to him for help. But Joseph was sat there, and he didn't say basically go away for what you done in the past. Because he's for God, and he helped him, and that's what God wanted. And also his family then understood where he was coming from, and they understood then that there was a God. So obviously that's why God does things in mysterious ways. So he does it not just as a detriment to you, but he does it to bring you back to him when you're going off path. But he can see past, present, future. You can see it all, because there's no time where God is. We're in time in this world, but where God is, there's no time. As God says, it's 1,000 days. 1,000 days to him is one day to God. So yeah, and that's the story. He helped him, and he brought him back to God. He made him understand, and then he knew that Joseph, what he was all about, and obviously they got on then, didn't they? And I like that story, mate. It's a powerful story, that, and that's a testing of faith. I like it. Yeah, I like that story. Yeah. Yeah, so the harvest is plenty, but the labourers are few. So get saved today. Walk by faith, not by sight. Have no fear. Cast out fear. All love casts out fear. When you have faith and fear in the temple, which is the church, which is your body, this is your flesh and blood. Faith and fear can't inhabit the same place. So what you do is you get into your faith. So faith overtakes fear, so it kicks fear out. So in the end, in your church, you just end up with faith, and that's how it works. That's how it works. You reap what you sow in this world. You reap what you sow. So make sure you reap good seeds. Reap good. Don't reap bad, because if you reap bad, some people call it karma. Some people, I don't call it karma. Just what it says in the Bible, because the Word of God's, it's real. You reap what you sow, basically. It might not happen the next day, but God don't forget anything. He looks at you like a tree. What fruit you're bearing. If you're bearing good fruit, you're on your way to salvation, aren't you? If you're bearing bad fruit, well, it's going to come back to you, innit? God don't forget a thing. So you never reap bad seeds. You reap good seeds, and if you reap good seeds, you get on, and that's the way I understand it. So you get saved. I'm just bringing that up for you. So be covered in the blood. He'll wash every sin whiter than snow away, and get saved today. Because the times we're living in now, all the Decepticons that are out there now, crazy. I've never seen anything like it, mate. This world has gone backwards. Well, it is. It's going backwards, isn't it? But get saved and believe on him, call on him, seek him, go to that secret place. Put all your cares on him. He'll listen to you. Cry out loud to him. Pray to him with your problems and ask him. If you seek Jesus, he'll come to you. And believe he rose on the third day. He crushed death. He defeated death. He's all God, sinless God. And he rose on the third day, and believe in him. He is our King and he's our Messiah. And he's coming back. He's coming back as a lion. Not coming back as a sheep, coming back as a lion. And this time, it'll be done right. Because he is the second Adam. Adam and Eve got it wrong the first time. And then he come along, Jesus, our Lord and Saviour. And he did it right. Because he knew that we could not do it on our own. He knew that we needed him. and it's a free gift. It's the greatest love story. So get saved, do the right thing. So, yeah, I've told you. So, I hope you've had a good day, and I hope you get saved. And I hope you have what it is you're doing today, something interesting, something good. And all I'll say is bye, see ya, and shalom. Yeah, the news article for 5.2 magnitude quake is. I'm going to leave a link for that in the description below.